Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Olson and I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3, pregnant with our 4th, and my husband is currently deployed. So we have a lot going on right now. I usually share about homemaking, motherhood, and especially homeschooling, but those things are all, of course, very intertwined. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. I thought I'd sit down and chat a little bit about getting ready for the holidays and specifically getting ahead on the holiday season. Considering it is mid-November now, I'm sure you've seen all sorts of holiday displays. Goodness, your Christmas tree might even be up in your house already. And that is perfectly good and fine. It's easy and exciting and understandable to anticipate Christmas, but what we don't want to come with Christmas is all of the stresses and the overwhelm, and that's what I'm desperately, or maybe diligently, trying to avoid this year. I really wanted to be intentional about preparing us for the holidays this year because of several reasons. First of all, like I mentioned, I am expecting our 4th child, and she is due at the end of January, so not quite Christmas time. But I know that being in my 3rd trimester now, I will just continue to get more tired, and I want to really budget my time and my energy and my attention well this year. Additionally, my husband is currently deployed. He is serving in the Middle East, and he gets home sometime in December, and I want to really be able to give us that intentional, focused family time. I don't usually mind all of the holiday baking and things like that, but I just don't want to be standing in the kitchen or preoccupied with other projects and the typical December tasks when I could be spending more intentional, focused time with my husband or just all 5 of us together as a family. I just want to lean into the cozy and the rest factors of the holiday season as much as I possibly can. And I fully recognize that you can't predict the future. You don't know how December will look, or next week, or even tomorrow will look. Sickness could happen, any other kind of life circumstances could happen that wouldn't allow me to finish all of this holiday prep. But I wanted to take a minute to share either about ways I'm already ahead on the holiday season or ways that I am hoping to continue to be ahead on the holiday season. I might also in this video share some footage of Christmas cookie dough making. It's like Christmas cookie baking minus all of the baking. I have a ton of different cookies prepped and, well, the cookie dough prepped and prepared down in the basement freezer, and I'm so grateful for that. So that is one of the things I wanted to share with you in this video as I'm sitting down to chat about getting ahead on the holiday season. I have about, it looks like here on my list, 13 ways that I am either ahead on the holiday season or will be preparing for the holiday season. So we'll just jump right in. The first way that I'm preparing is I have already ordered and washed our kids' Christmas outfits. I didn't want to worry about ordering something just in time for Christmas, so I already went online, looked around for a little bit, and found a Christmas sweater for Soren, my 6-year-old, and 2 Christmas dresses for my daughters, ages 8 and 2.5, and they happened to have them in both of their sizes, and so the girls get to match this year too, which is super fun. But those Christmas outfits already have the tags cut off, they're washed and hung up to wait till it's Christmas time, or at least the Christmas season, when we can start wearing dresses and Christmassy looking sweaters to church and stuff like that, and especially for like a Christmas service. That's what I wanted to have ready to go, and my son will just wear his normal khaki pants with his sweater. I just love having that already because then I'm not worrying about what we're all going to wear. Now my own outfit being, I don't know, I'll be like 8 months pregnant. Yeah, 8 months pregnant around Christmas time. I will just be picking something from my closet, whatever fits, whatever I'm in the mood for wearing that day. That's what I'll go with, and my husband as well, he'll be just fine. But I wanted to have the kids' outfits all set for Christmas. Similarly, I also ordered everyone's Christmas pajamas. So our family has a little tradition where on Christmas Eve we go to bed wearing our footed red Christmas pajamas. They're like those zip up sleeper pajamas. I can't remember if there's another word for them. Just those footed pajamas. And my husband and I, we haven't changed sizes that much. So we've got our adult ones that we wash and put away every year, but then the kids of course are growing, and I end up usually, if they wear them all year long, they end up with holes in the knees and stuff. So I do often end up ordering other footed pajamas just for this Christmas, holiday, and then winter season. So the kids' Christmas pajamas are already all ordered and ready for us to wear for our little traditional picture on Christmas morning as a family. Actually, I think I will link below what Christmas either pajamas or Christmas sweaters or dresses that I was able to find, just in case you're looking for ideas too. So check out the description box below if you want any helpful links from this video. The second way I prepared for the holiday season this year is an idea from my friend Hillary over at Old World Home. She and I collaborated on a video, I think last spring, and she is so thoughtful and intentional about just all of the seasons and her everyday life. And the strategy that Hillary recommended, which I believe she's done for multiple years by now, is to prep a lot of Christmas cookie dough, maybe not baking necessarily all of your Christmas cookies, but getting that dough prepped, rolled into balls so that it is frozen in the deep freezer, it's ready to pull out and just bake throughout December or whenever you want the Christmas cookies ready. That way you don't have all of the kitchen mess, the kitchen stress. Now I do love all the December baking, but I really want to be able to focus intentionally on family time a little more this December specifically, and so this idea seemed so brilliant to me. So a lot of these recipes you can freeze into balls on a cookie sheet, and you kind of flash freeze them for an hour or two. Then you can pull all of the individual cookie balls, like the cookie dough balls, off of the sheet and pop them into freezer bags or freezer containers. That way you've got your raw cookie dough ready to thaw, or even to go directly into the oven when it's time to do your Christmas cookie baking. And I am so thrilled to say that I actually got it all done this past weekend. I did 8 different recipes. I doubled every recipe except one that I tripled. And the sugar cookie dough, I did not form that into balls or something because I do want to thaw that and roll it out and decorate with the kids still in December. But the other cookies are all rolled into balls and just plain ready to go. I'm so excited about this, and I would love to report back and let you know how that goes at the end of December, because I am really excited about this idea. I feel like it will really lessen a lot of that more frantic holiday baking shopping that we even do. So I already made my whole list, decided what cookies I wanted to make this year, and got those all prepped. And I hope it really lends itself to a more peaceful December. If you are interested in hearing what cookies, all the different recipes that I chose to make this year, and the large majority of them were our tried and true favorites that we make year after year, then just let me know down in the comments below and I'll figure out a good way to get that information out to you. The third way I'm getting ahead on the holiday season this year, and this is one that is not totally a finished project, I'm really hoping I can keep pushing forward on it, is ordering our Christmas cards. I got those ordered, I don't know, the end of October, if not mid-October, because we didn't need to do another family session. My husband is deployed, so we weren't obviously going to do a family photo session this year. So I used Vistaprint, I got them ordered, they're sitting in our house, and they are ready to be addressed and sent out. So that's definitely the project I want to conclude. I want to get it all done, and then I'll figure out a good time to actually get those cards mailed out. I probably won't mail them out super soon, considering we're about in mid-November right now. But something else I did was I made sure we had all the stamps we need, and we also have a whole spreadsheet I keep on my computer of everyone that we send Christmas cards to, and I've kept notes throughout the year and then gone into the spreadsheet and added, you know, new friends or new acquaintances or new co-workers, maybe for my husband, things like that. That would be someone we want to send a Christmas card to this year that maybe wasn't on the list last year. So I try to keep that really organized, and then to have it all ready in one spot, I actually printed out that spreadsheet already and put it with our Christmas cards and with our physical address book. So I just need to get going on that project, and then that part will be all set. And something that is so sweet can sometimes be a stressor in the holiday season. So many things that we love that bring us joy over the holiday season can also bring us stress, and we don't want to put that extra burden on ourselves. So I do really want to get that project all the way finished. Another way, the fourth way that I'm preparing for the holiday season, is I have our Christmas shopping about 90% finished. And we have a couple gift exchanges coming up that I still need to shop for, and then some relatives who live out of town, and I want to, if I'm using Amazon, I want to wait and then ship that closer to Christmas, not in mid-November. But overall, the things that I'm giving physically to someone in person, those are all purchased, and they are hiding in the basement in a big plastic tub all together in one spot. That's a strategy I usually have. I like to purchase a little bit early. I think I'm a little earlier this year than in past years, but I do usually stash all of our gifts in a certain corner of our basement throughout the year, or maybe as fall rolls around. But something I did this year is I made sure we had enough wrapping paper. I purchased a few more rolls. I even bought tape, and I've got gift bags and tissue paper all stashed in those couple of plastic tubs in the basement, so that everything is in one like gift wrapping station. So then I can grab that tub maybe some evenings when the kids are in bed and really get going on wrapping those gifts up. This is along the same lines as prepping Christmas gifts, but I have a note on my phone called gift ideas, and that's where I mark down ideas and brainstorming for gifts for people all throughout the year. So if someone mentions something back in March that, man, I really wish I had a new cutting board, or I hate my chef knife or something like that, then I can mark that down and start thinking, and maybe purchasing later on, but at least starting the brainstorming process for getting them a thoughtful, intentional Christmas gift. At the bottom of that note, I also have a spot where I mark down people's names and what I purchased for them this year. So it'll say Christmas 2025, Bjorn and Sophie, Soren, Svea, you know, all sorts of people on my list, so that I'm not accidentally thinking of someone so much that I buy them 20 gifts just because I'm excited one day when I'm at a certain store, and then I realize I don't have enough items that I wanted to have for one of my daughters or something. So that kind of helps me to also just keep an eye on how much I'm spending and how many different gifts each person is getting. Not that everything has to be perfectly even and fair, but it just really gives me a good gauge on my Christmas shopping. So that has really helped me over the years too. I also have a section of my giant recipe binder. I love cooking and baking, and so I've got a big binder, like one of those, is it 3 inches? Binders that has sheet protectors, and that's where I print out all my tried and true recipes. But I have a section of that in the back called holidays, and maybe you do too, but that's where I stash our recipes for St. Patrick's Day, because we like to celebrate that. That's really fun, and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it helps so much to be able to just turn to that section instead of wondering what that one gravy recipe was that we tried last year that we really liked for the turkey. I actually know what it was. I have notes written on it, and it is stashed in the back of my easily accessible recipe binder. And of course I love trying new recipes, and every year I probably will try a couple new recipes, but how nice to just flip to that area or have all my recipes in one spot, because like I said, while I love trying new recipes, it's so nice to be able to flip back to a section that reminds us what worked well last year. I even have a little paper where I wrote out our Thanksgiving menu, because I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year again, because you don't want to forget green bean casserole or something, right? So anyway, it's really nice to have all the recipes in one spot for the holidays. I do also keep all of our Christmas cookie recipes with notes written on them about if I tripled it or doubled the batch, or if it needed chilling, or, you know, just any kind of notes. I keep all those Christmas cookie recipes together too, because I don't want to be digging around for them. I do utilize Pinterest. I love Pinterest, and I have a tried and true board on there, but this has really helped a lot. The sixth way that I'm preparing for the holiday season is having a special December crafts box. And actually, this might be the first year that I've had a November kind of crafts box. What I do is I go to Hobby Lobby, sometime in the fall. And they often have Thanksgiving crafts for kids out and a lot of Christmas stuff, of course. These kinds of craft stores have all the holiday stuff out very early. But Hobby Lobby especially, they often have a 40 to 50% off sale even early on and kind of throughout this holiday season. And Hobby Lobby, that's just the one I'm thinking of because that's the one we've been to most often and most recently. They have a lot of cheap and easy crafts for little kids, whether it's a tiny painting set to paint a little ceramic ornament or a little sticker page of a little scene of a gingerbread house and stickers to go with it, or maybe a felt craft, something really easy. Sometimes they have little beading crafts too that come with beads and pipe cleaners, but they're really cheap usually. And when you can get a $2.99 craft, like a $3 craft, 50% off, that is wonderful. So what I do around sometime in the fall is I buy a bunch of those, I stash those crafts in a box, and then I keep it throughout the month of December especially in a big box on top of the fridge, and then I can pull it out in the afternoons or in the evenings when I want something fun for the kids to do that's not sitting in front of a screen and that's really festive and kind of adds to the overall excitement and just hopefully childhood magic of the holiday season. I really love that, and that has become a tradition for us over the past few years. So we have all our December crafts stashed in a box in the basement right now. We actually this year got some Thanksgiving crafts, so we have been pulling those out in November here. So the kids have worked on making a turkey and other cute little things, and I think Svea had a little turkey scene, or no, it was a little scarecrow scene. So really cute little festive crafts. They're inexpensive. They are something you can just throw away later on. It's not like you're making keepsakes forever unless you want to keep the little ceramic ornament, stuff like that. But it definitely is a darling way to celebrate the holiday season and kind of have things in your back pocket or in your parenting toolkit for the holiday season. Another way I prepared for the holiday season and for winter here in Minnesota, which gets often very cold and very snowy, is I reassessed everyone's shoe sizes. And there are a lot of websites where you can print off kind of a shoe sizing guide and measure your child's foot and trace their foot on paper and stuff like that to make sure you truly have their correct size. So I did that recently enough that I was able to order everyone's snow boots on Amazon. We have a brand we really like on Amazon, so we're going with that same exact brand that we purchased last year. And I made sure everyone either had snow pants that could be a hand-me-down, or I bought a couple new pairs of snow pants for people this year. I think, was it Sophie needed a new pair of those snow stopper mittens. They're the ones that come all the way up to your wrist. So there are just some things I wanted to assess and make sure we were prepared. And I was like pretty well prepared, but it snowed early. The snow is gone now because we had a 70-degree day after that, but we did have some snow that stuck around for a couple days on the ground, and the kids were thrilled to at least have their snow boots. They didn't have their snow pants yet. And then I did have a winter coat stashed away that was a new bigger size for Svea, our 2.5-year-old, but then Sophie and Soren needed new winter coats, so I took them real quick into Once Upon a Child when my mother-in-law was with Svea, and I was able to very quickly get them winter coats secondhand this year. So everyone's all set with those kinds of things, and it's just a little, it brings a little peace of mind now that we are coming into these colder months, and then I feel like we're not scrambling and realizing we all need winter boots or something. It shouldn't come as a surprise every year for us living in Minnesota, but there have been years where I've been caught off guard. So this has been a good way to get ahead. The 8th way that I am trying to get ahead or prepare myself for the holiday season is to practice contentment. And that might sound funny, but I know that all of these ads are popping up on our phones and computers and even coming to us in the mail in little magazines and stuff like that. There are ads everywhere, and it is so tempting to want all the things and to want them not just for ourselves, but to want to purchase new and better and more fun items for our kids. So I am really trying to practice contentment now so that I don't later on think I suddenly need 6 more Christmas gifts for myself or for my husband or for my kids. I know I get sucked into ads just as much as anyone else, and I'm trying to be very proactive about it this year. Basically, that can look like reminding myself I already have this certain amount of gifts for Soren, or it's so nice to not have to think about another Christmas dress option for the girls. I know that their dresses are already hanging up in the closet, and I know that I don't need a brand new Christmas dress because I've already assessed. I already know I have like 3 different options that could work just fine on a pregnant Hannah for Christmas this year. So I know that we have all we need, and we need to remind ourselves of that this holiday season, like any season, all throughout the year, because we truly do have enough. Another way I'm preparing for the holiday season is hitting homeschool hard before we hit the holidays. And as a homeschool family, we do have the blessing and the flexibility of being able to take a day off of school and go do a fun holiday thing with friends or with family. Or maybe we just want to decorate Christmas cookies all day long and not worry about school one day. That is all good and fine, but I also want to make sure we're moving forward academically, and that is why I'm hitting school hard all of the fall season. And actually we started at the tail end of July because I wanted to have a really long on-ramp and a lot of success leading up to all the stuff going on in December. Because again, my husband's coming home. I know I keep mentioning it, maybe I'm a little excited, but my husband's coming home hopefully by mid-December, and I know that we're going to want to take a little time off just to be together as a family again, and also the holidays and stuff like that with our families, lifestyle and schedule. There's just a lot going on this time of year every year, and I want to be ahead on school. So we're continuing to stick with it and not give up and say, oh, it's too close to the holidays. We are still forging ahead and making sure we're making daily progress as much as possible. Another way I'm preparing is to have all of our Christmas books stored together. They are all stored in the basement in a box. We have an awesome collection of children's Christmas books. I love it so much. The kids do too, which makes me so happy that they've kind of picked up on my excitement about children's books and then about celebrating the holiday season with special seasonal books. And I love bringing those out every year, but they are all stored together so that I don't have to look around or think that I need to purchase more Christmas picture books. I think I've bought 2 new Christmas picture books this year, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm just trying to make sure I'm content. So all our Christmas books are stored together in a box in the basement, and it's so nice not to have to hunt around or wonder if I should purchase more. I did purchase a couple more, but we like to use what we have for the most part, although it is fun to add a couple more books every now and then. But I love pulling those out every year. I actually have a video and possibly a blog post all about our family's Christmas picture books, so I will be sure to link that down below for you and check it out if you're looking for good Christmas picture book recommendations. The next way I'm preparing for the holiday season is I already bought our calendar for next year. I have so enjoyed our Luli Metka calendar, and maybe I can insert a picture or something of it here. It is the most gorgeous calendar. I had friends over a little bit ago, and they were all standing around admiring the calendar just as art. They weren't trying to look at my schedule and stuff. They were joking. They just loved the artwork of the calendar so much. So it's really fun to pick out a calendar that you love, that you know you'll love looking at every single day of 2026, and have it ready to go for the new year. And then I have a note on my phone about schedules, and that's where I jot down anything I know that's coming up in 2026 or in the new year. And it's crazy to think about, but we all probably already have things scheduled for the new year. So I have those written down on a note on my phone, and I'll transfer them to my calendar for next year pretty soon here. The 12th way that I like to get ahead on the holidays is actually decluttering. And as much as I would love to take off from all of my responsibilities and spend a whole week decluttering my entire house, I can't do that. So I do it in little bits and pieces. And if I'm, opening up a cupboard that's kind of bugging me, I make sure to go through it and maybe pull out some things that are not useful to us anymore or not relevant anymore. I also especially like to do this when it comes to the kids' toys, because of course clothing is something I like to go through too. I have a video about how I store our kids' clothing in a smaller space or in a more efficient way. But anyway, when it comes to kids' toys, we all know they're going to get new toys for Christmas, and I'm trying to get ahead of that by pulling out and decluttering, possibly donating or giving away the toys that they no longer use. And I'm not super ruthless about this. I do try to keep toys more minimal in our household, and I try to be really intentional about that. And I know I keep mentioning other videos, but I just remembered I have a video about toys in our main living room area, and these are toys that we use on an everyday basis. And so I'll link that down below too. But decluttering the kids' toys before they receive all the new toys and before we have the overwhelm of all the stuff in our house, because that's no fun. I like to have their toys simplified and pared down. I'm not getting rid of all of their favorite toys. I just want it a little more minimal before we know for sure they're going to receive new toys, which is such a gift and a blessing, and we want them to be able to enjoy the new things they receive without me acting all stressed about it or trying to get rid of their new toys right away. But I definitely want the room for it. Each of our older kids has a whole basket here in their room where they can stash kind of those random toys that you don't have a good spot for elsewhere. But I want to make sure those baskets aren't full and overflowing before the holiday season, because then of course they'll be past max capacity, and we just want to get ahead of the whole toy rush or the flood of toys that comes this time of year. The final way I'm preparing for the holiday season is actually by taking supplements, and I do this year round. I don't really take time off ever from taking my supplements and making sure the kids have theirs. I call them their vitamins, but it's their vitamins and supplements, that kind of thing. I make sure we are still keeping on track with daily supplementing and daily vitamins, basically, because I don't want to have to ramp up later on our family's health, like in a more panicked way once we get sick. And of course you always kind of ramp up and add maybe extra vitamin C or extra healthy foods and stuff when you are sick. So I'm not saying that any of that is wrong, but I'm trying to get ahead of it by making sure we're taking our vitamin C now and all of these other things that we like to take. I have a favorite supplementation company that I have loved for years now. It's called Neolife, and I can link that down below. I'm happy to chat with any of you, maybe if you message me on Instagram about the exact supplements I take. I am pregnant right now, so that has shifted a little bit of my normal protocol with those supplements because of research that I did. I made sure to go with a prenatal, which that company doesn't technically offer. So anyway, that's a great way to make sure we're getting ahead on the holiday season, just being proactive about our daily vitamins and getting all those nutrients we can now, because it will of course benefit us now, but benefit us later on when we are coming into more of that cold and flu season. A bonus way that I'm preparing for the holiday season that I do not want to leave out is I have been spending time in my Bible, focusing on prayer, focusing on trusting God and leaning into Him and what I know about His character from His Word. Because at the end of the day, what is the holiday season all about? It is about Christ, or it should be about Christ. And we have so much to be thankful for, and we never know what stresses the holiday season may bring. And I just always want to make sure I am being spiritually fed. And so I want to encourage you, if you are a Christian or even if you are not, to open up a Bible and dig into God's Word and start praying, because this is a wonderful time to be intentional about slowing down and focusing on what is truly important. Well, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. I hope it was either encouraging to you or helpful for you as we chatted about different ideas to get ahead on the holiday season. Again, in the comments, I would love to hear about ways that you like to get ahead on Christmas and all of the festivities that come with this time of year. If you liked this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to check out my other gift guide videos. I will have a total of 4 gift guide videos this year, so either keep an eye out for those or go back on my videos. Really recently I started sharing our gift guide videos for 2025. And if you like homemaking, motherhood, and homeschooling content, then I invite you to stick around. I would be so honored if you would choose to hit that subscribe button. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.
Yesterday